because the research shows that 90% of disease is caused by stress. And what I like to say is that it's actually higher than that. The percentage is higher than that because they don't factor in all the ways stress shows up. So stress is, like you said, one of those hidden things that it's also a kind of a bait and switch, or think of the frog in the nice warm pot of water just enjoying floating, and then somebody turn the fire up and he's like, oh, it's getting a little warm in here, and before you know it, he's cooked, right? So yeah, it's something that we have to learn. What I say is that we have to learn to master it, because it's not going away, and honestly, we don't even want it to. None of us want to live that kind of blah life that basically has no stress in it, right?
Well, yeah, are you saying that stress, I mean, there's bad stress and there's good stress, but we were talking about movies before we hit record. So
Yeah.
a movie can stress you out. So there's kind of an emotion. So we don't want to be rid of emotions. Is that kind of what you're saying? Is
Yeah, or for example, many of us are, high achievers and we pride ourselves on that, right? And there's stress that goes along with that, right? Or just imagine that you took on a challenge, you wanted to run a half marathon or a marathon or something like that. It was just something that you like wanted to tick off your bucket list. Well, there's going to be stress associated with taking on a big challenge, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, whether it's work wise. And so, what I like to say is that if that stressful period is a manageable period of time, we can manage even really high levels of stress for a short period of time. In fact, we were designed to do that, right? Our bodies are designed to say, oh, heck, that's a lion coming at me, I'm taking off, right?
Mhm.
And if I don't think I can make it, I'm going to freeze and play dead. And that's also a very stressful situation for your body. So our body has all these automatic mechanisms to be able to deal with stress. But when we keep ourselves in that stressful situation, that stressed out state, for extended periods of time. And I mean like longer than 3 or 6 months. Many of us have just kind of conditioned ourselves to live super stressed, literally, like for years and years, we go on like that and we think it's working. We're typically, what I find is that we're suppressing symptoms in some way, shape, or form with some form of symptom suppressor. That happens in a lot of different ways. But then when midlife hits, and that can happen as early as mid 30s, but somewhere in that, mid 30s to 50 ish, we start to have certain changes happen in our reproductive system, that those hormones and, the adjustments to those hormones, that's natural. Our body was designed to be able to handle that. That is nothing that needs to be squashed or medicated around. But what happens is when we go into that period of time and we're already really stressed, we are on fumes, have adrenal fatigue. Normally our adrenals kind of kick in some extra energy to make up for the loss in the hormone production in our normal female reproductive system.